notice how the trees are already turning color.
That one there every year,
Yeah, but even I've noticed it in other
That's,
places too, it's because of the drought, I think.
Yeah, because they're not getting enough water this
Water,
year.
I know, they're
You should
already
see my
losing color.
ponds, they must be down 3 feet.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
At least.
My Rose of Sharon's already full bloom when it usually does that in September.
wow,
Yeah, things are crazy.
hasn't affected the bugs any, they're eating.
Yeah.
I don't
Bugs
have
and
problems with
weeds.
bugs, I have a problem with a chipmunk that's eating my tomatoes.
Yeah, I got holes all over the place this year.
Yeah,
Is
chip-
that what could it, Chip nibbled on my tomato?
Yeah.
I picked,
You don't eat half of it. You don't
I ate my
it.
first,
I
I
know,
got my
huh?
first tomato, I picked
It
it
would
and
be
then
too
turned
bad
around,
for
it's all eaten on one side.
They just ruin it.
My first tomato, didn't get to eat it. Mart, are you video tonight? Okay.
Alrighty, everybody okay?
Good.
Well then, we'll open the meeting at 7:02. Good afternoon, evening, whatever you wanna call it. The full board present, town administrator and recording secretary. Alrighty, start off with the minutes. Would like to make a motion?
Yeah.
It's all yours.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the, Board of Selectmen regular meeting minutes from July 28th at 7:03 as written.
Second.
Any discussion, John?
No, I looked over email earlier.
Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
What was that time, 7:03?
Yep.
Bill, minutes, that's right.
Regular, yeah.
Correct, chief.
Hi, Dan.
How goes the battle?
So far, so good.
You're on the previous page.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Alright, who's next? Time is wrong.
We're
Discussed it, we weren't sure how to put the time, if we have to do the heading as a regular meeting, and then change the time to go into the non-public, so.
There's a motion down below, that's why I didn't change it. but-
Oh, okay. That's fine. Well, yeah, just, it's hard to decide which one's which though, so.
Yeah, I think for the future, we could probably put the time that we go into non-public, especially
As
if
the
there's
top
two.
header
At
too.
the top header, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I'd probably put, on the header, put non-public.
Yeah, it's underneath, lift up the flat.
Under the flag.
Oh,
With big letters.
yeah, okay, there it is. Anyway, who wants to make a motion? I'm not gonna let you.
is this C?
This is, make a motion to approve the non-public meeting minutes from Thursday, the 28th at 7:03. This is, C, yes.
Is there a
No,
second?
second.
Alright, any discussion?
Negative.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 And I will also make a motion that we seal the, non-public meeting minutes from July 28th at 7:03. Again, it's C.
And a second.
All in favor?
Say aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Gotta need some signatories.
Yep, sure. So,
You're on a roll.
I'm on a roll, yeah. Getting good at it.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah. Alright, I'll make a, motion to approve non-public meeting minutes from the Board of Selectmen on July 28th at 7:03. This one is J. And, it is written.
No second for those?
Second.
Alright, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 And I will also make a motion that we seal the non-public meeting minutes from July 22nd, also J.
You second that?
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Bob, you second that, right?
No.
We'll blame him for all of it, sure.
There you go. Oh, look at it.
We have to take back. Some tape.
John get called for fire or anything, or call, he's supposed to come in tonight, John Wigan. Phone and text him. Yeah, ask him where he is, he's supposed to be here. I forgot.
How could you forget us?
Yeah, I know, I'm forgetting. In fact, that's him right there, isn't it? That's
Oh,
truck.
it is.
Yep.
I recognize that truck. Alright. So we're all signed and sealed?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's good.
I've got water.
Make it bubble gum or strawberry before I start liking it.
Yeah,
So just sign that,
Strip
or
it,
do
pull
the next
off
one?
of it.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'm trying.
I
am?
I'm sweating it,
Right
actually.
on.
Swear
Right on.
it over there.
Gonna be nice and cool.
Oh, it's on my agenda right here, yeah.
Yeah, we got
But somebody's
bookends over
paying
there.
attention.
There you go.
Yeah.
You all set? Last but not least.
Oh, wait, yeah, so-
No, oh, actually, wait, label it,
Oh.
I just don't know which one,
Yeah, I
is
know,
the
you
second
don't know
one
which
that we
is
just
which.
sealed.
Yeah.
Well, if we did the first one, that should be C over there in your hand, that one should be J.
Yeah, you can, yep.
Just dawned on me.
Alright, I'm gonna open up to public comment. Mert?
Nope.
Chief?
And the only thing, really new is we're gonna take delivery of our cruiser next week. We'll get the vehicle. We still have to arrange for the outfit, but, we got notification that it had been delivered, so we'll do that next week.
All the same colors?
Yes, it better be. That's what we ordered.
Cool. Is that it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Chief?
Am I on the agenda?
You are, so,
This is public comment, so this is
Public
anything
comment.
outside of whatever you're here to see us for. So I take it you have done?
Nope.
We'll close public comment, hearing nothing from the rest of the room. Except for the name of the new subdivision project off Grapevine, we've got a letter here from,
this is a request by Bob Grundon, who's the GC for the Lamontine, subdivision
what else was
Overlook Estates, and, I need to get something in writing from the chief, and that's what you have there.
Says from the fire department, says, dear board members, developers of Overlook Estates are proposing a road name of Overlook Drive. This road name does not conflict with any other Dunbarton road name, and it should not be a 911 dispatch issue. The proposed name would be acceptable to the fire department. You've already initiated this, so.
Okay.
So, I assume you're here for that?
What's Main Street gonna be?
Overlook Drive.
Overlook.
Any comments or extra comments you might want to throw in or not?
No, it's, you know, sometimes they give us names that conflict, name originally had Bob Hill's wife's name, whatever that was,
Geraldine Hill.
Geraldine Hill.
Yeah,
or
which would have been
something, so.
Jacqueline Drive would have conflicted.
Yeah, so these guys came up with that, and it's fine. Fine with us, but you the ones,
us to number the streets so that we don't wind up with a, you get to do that? That's you?
Mhm.
Okay, good. Awesome.
So, is there a motion to accept the name of the subdivision as Overlook Drive?
So moved.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none?
Not really.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So we got a name for the new road. Now, that's a cul-de-sac, right?
Yep.
Yeah. got that.
But it
The
also,
name ahead of it comes.
it's a cul-de-sac, but it also has a spur off the cul-de-sac to the adjoining lot, which is landlocked. And then, so there's one more large parcel, about
Yeah.
25-30 acres before it hits the town line in Bow.
But they don't own that either.
Pardon?
Do they own that one? I'm trying to remember.
No,
they don't.
Pelletier owns that one.
Right. So they have a right of way to get to,
Yeah, that's the law with the subdivisions.
so that should be fun when that one gets developed. All right, chief. You no. Chief Wicken. Forestry truck warrant update?
Yeah, I initially was gonna, switch the body from the old forestry truck,
Yeah.
but we've done some looking into it, and that body originally was wider than the frame rails, so the company put it on, welded a bunch of cross members on it, and bolted it to the frame, and
Gussets and all that stuff.
yeah, it's not gonna be an easy fix for us to take it off, we'd have to cut all that off.
Mhm.
The new truck's got some kind of emission control box in the back that sticks up above the frame, the fuel tank's inside the frame rail. On the new one, it's outside on that one, so there's gonna be some fabricating involved. So, we think it's better just to buy a new body. So, we calling around, get one price, I got two companies that actually Hughes left me a message tonight, but I didn't get back to them, so either we could sell the truck that we got, use that money towards the body, or actually the guy that originally put that body on, he wants to buy the truck. But I got
Mhm.
5 or 6 guys lined up who wanna buy it. So I don't think there'd be a problem getting rid of it. Actually, I had a guy Tuesday night at a meeting I was at, wanna buy it, so.
Well, let's get an auction going here, get them bidding.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Good,
so-
that was what?
yeah, the body that I got the price from Calvin Candy, a body, and put the other body on, Jeff Goff. He said that he's the guy that wants it, but
Mhm.
the new body's $3,085. $3,085.
Is that for a steel one or a aluminum?
Steel, he offered us a couple different ones, but we just want a basic flatbed body that's lighter so we can put more weight on. They had one that had skirting and
Yeah.
toolboxes, but toolbox wasn't big enough to put like a chain in.
Mhm.
It was more money, but just a plain flatbed body with a headboard, backup,
Mhm.
lights mounted, the whole 9 yards.
Mhm.
Steel 8 feet long,
Yep.
6.5 feet wide, you know, just plain body, so it's around $3,000, US $3,085.
Mhm.
So, I haven't heard from Hughes yet, or from Donovan. So, either way, I mean, I have money, you know, I could take 1,500 out of my equipment fund, 1,500 out of my new equipment fund, and have the money,
Mhm.
or, you know, if you guys allow, we can sell that truck and use that money, towards the body. But either way, I think it's best if we just get a new body. Plus, this truck won't be, both guys have told me this truck really wouldn't be worth anything, if you take the body off it.
Right.
You know, what you're gonna get for it, reduce the
Mhm.
value of it by just being a cab and chassis.
Right.
So,
Dumb question, refresh my memory maybe between me and you. When we did the warrant article for this particular forestry vehicle, did we have anything in there regarding selling the old truck?
That
in the
was
world?
very generic, it was just buy a used forestry truck for
Right, well, I know we
22.
did that with the 1 ton for the highway department, and then next year, we gotta have a warrant article, put money back into the warrant, the capital
Yeah.
reserve.
No,
I just wondering if we, guess.
this one was not written that way. See if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of 20,000 for purchase of a forestry truck, that's it. So, in
So it'd be unanticipated income coming in.
unanticipated revenue,
Revenue.
which you could make the authorization to spend or apply towards, put in general fund or apply towards.
yeah, I mean, either way, or you wanna decide to do it, I gotta buy a body. So either I take it out of my budget now, can sell this and reimburse my budget, either way.
Yeah, the one that you currently have now, is it on the road still using it, or is it
Yeah,
off the road?
cause we've had so many brush fires, our plan was to take, as soon as brush fire season ended in the spring, we were gonna switch it over, but it goes out almost every week somewhere, so. That plan didn't work out quite so well, and then when we finally couple weeks ago, we decided, well, we gotta get it moved over. So that's when we started looking at measuring and lining things up and, you know, it could be done, I mean, we could hire a welder, well, we'd have to hire a welder and.
It's gonna be a few $1,000s.
Yeah, I mean,
that too.
Well, pretty much about the same.
Between materials and time and
Yeah.
labor.
Yeah, and like I said, this truck be valued more, but, you know, either way, it's just like commercial.
Well, we're on the record now, so I won't ask you how much you're thinking of getting for it, because, you know, you got people out there looking at it, so,
Yeah, I mean, I
it's just,
can throw a figure out to you.
no,
Okay.
I'd rather you didn't, only
Okay.
because like say we're on tape and we're on the record.
Yeah, there's people in town that inquired, like I said, I was at a meeting Tuesday night, people already heard word that, you know, they want it, those military trucks, even though it's the newer version, military still bring,
Mhm.
there's still interest. Mechanically, we've had some starting issues with it lately, we pulled the starter out, I didn't wanna dump any money into it, but we had a couple of used starters, and, we changed the starter up, but it still doesn't start like it should, I think there's maybe a wiring issue or something, and then the other thing is, it's got a couple holes in the rocker panel on the driver's side, last time I got inspected, they said, maybe probably gotta get that fixed. To pass inspection, other than that, the truck mechanically is good shape.
Did they say how long it take to get a body made for that new one?
No, I think they didn't give me a time frame, but they all in stock, so depends on how busy, yes. Like I said, he's the only guy that's calling me back, this guy Hughes called me today, but he wanted to cab the axle. Feet, and I didn't have it off the top of my head, inches on it, actually it's different than $1.60 this one. So, yeah, I would anticipate a couple of weeks from he gets me to okay it. I mean, they put the headboard on,
Yep.
it comes with a headboard, like I said, lights, backup alarm, you know, it's all included mounted. But you look on, you can buy those bodies pretty reasonable,
Yes,
but when you,
I know,
time you get them mounted and add the extra things you need, you know, you've got doubles the price.
where I used to work for mechanical, they used to make their own, I mean, just get a cabin chassis and fabricate the whole thing right from scratch,
Yeah.
You look just like what you'd be buying.
Yeah, pretty straightforward.
Yep.
Not much to it.
So what are your thoughts, gentlemen?
I'm okay with, you know, chief going out and doing what he's gotta do, out of, you know, your budget money, and then if you do sell that truck, you could reimburse it back in, I mean, that would be fine.
Yeah, I'd say plan for the worst, looking at your budget,
Yeah.
and hope for the better.
Yeah. Like I said,
You know, cause you may get enough to, that you come back and get it,
Yeah,
to put it back in your, budget.
Yeah.
well, I tried to do an even swap with it, but he hasn't got back to me on that. So, he's gonna have to make them look at it, the guy that showed up to look at it, so, that'd be the best case scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you get someone to pay you more than it's
Ah.
body's gonna be worth. That'd be ideal. That'd be win-win
Yeah,
for us.
like you said, you never know, somebody that's really want it might,
Well, let's say you get that many bidders, I mean, I'd start a bidding war.
Hey, you never know,
yeah.
So,
start high.
well then,
Yeah, I mean, you can decide that later, I just need something to sort of proceed, because we need to get this project done.
sounds like the consensus here is that they can let you, you know, go get your body, do what you gotta do, and then sell a truck and
Yeah.
get us the check here, and we'll send it back to your budget. And if you get anything above and beyond, then we'll put in general funds, and then the rest, at least reimburse you even.
Alright,
That sound reasonable, gentlemen?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's only a fair thing to do.
appreciate it.
Did you get your little ATV thing?
We've got it,
They would use it.
haven't paid for it, but
Yeah.
actually, it's worked out really well, we had that forest fire up behind, Kincannon
Yeah.
on July 4th, 2 days, we ran back and forth in there, hauling people and supplies. We had a dirt biker injured down Clough State Park, and then we carried him out in the backboard in the back of it. First time we used it for that.
Did it work pretty well for that?
Yeah, worked
Nice.
really good. Actually, Chief got to ride in it. And, so we've used it, and we used another brush fire, so, and we feel it's already worth,
And the trailer that I saw down behind the police station, is that the one that you loaded up on?
Yeah.
It's like a snowmobile trailer kind of
it's like a landscape trail, and it's
Landscape,
heavy, and
yeah.
it's pretty heavy
thing?
trailer.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, it
looks
works pretty well.
Good.
As soon as we get rid of this other truck, we'll have room to get that inside,
Mhm.
so it won't stay outside.
Then that way you put it right on the trailer and get
Yep.
it mounted, so it's quicker
Yeah,
to go.
ready to go.
Right.
Yeah.
We have an overhead, height issue underneath the fire, on the police station, but, it will fit, we've had it on the trailer upstairs under the new addition, fits in there fine. So, once we get things straightened out, because this new truck will fit downstairs, because, it was a little tight in there, but we used to keep our cinder blocks stored for the chicken barbecue there. So we moved those, so they're not there anymore, that gives us more room, so, that truck, actually, that trailer will fit under the station, but it's really tight, it's like 4 inches on each side there. It's tight, so we'd rather just keep it, but yeah, once we get rid of this other truck, it'll give us room to, like you said, because, we had to load it a couple times, and actually, we've switched it around, cause we had it behind the forestry truck, and the forestry truck would start, was the day we needed it, so now we keep it in front. But you still got, load it up, get on the trail, it's all
Yeah.
time consuming. Brush fires aren't quite so important, but like that medical now,
Mhm.
that was pretty seriously hurt, we wanna get him out of the woods.
So, makes sense. But you
Yeah.
gotta use it,
Yeah.
for sure.
Good.
So, the next thing is paying for it, so we got a couple ideas what to do, but,
Mhm.
worst case scenarios, March will go down meeting and
Yeah.
ask for some money, but hopefully we can get it purchased before then.
Could always do rides around.
Yeah,
At
right,
the,
Old Home
at
Day.
Old Home Day, yeah,
That's a good idea.
$5.
Donations, yeah,
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 donations.
yeah. They put it out on display with a donation can,
yeah,
a boot.
supposed to take it back to the deal and get 50 miles on it, but it's gonna take us a while to get 50 miles. I checked last night, actually we had 27 or 30 miles on it, which got most wrecked on most of the time down, 2 days down the continuing, so,
Mhm.
that was part of the deal, he's gonna change it all that.
Right.
So I gotta get back to him, I'll call him this, maybe next week, so run it over, and come over and get it or whatever. Got a few scratches under it and stuff, but it's gonna happen.
Well, it's made to work, it's not
Yeah.
made to be a show
Yeah.
vehicle.
So,
But actually, that's not quite a bad idea, having a whole home day, since the weather is, that way you have.
Yeah, we're
some-
just gonna leave it, yeah, for donations and
yeah,
Well, you can show it up,
fundraiser, yeah.
one or two, but also if you need to, in case something happens, you can probably
Yeah.
get in and out of here a lot quicker with that than you would with an ambulance or a big truck.
Okay, we've got it registered, so it's road legal, we can run on the road, just play it out.
Put it in the parade.
Yeah, last time you here, I think you got, told by the.
Yeah, we have a plate on the trailer, but now we got everything registered. The only thing we don't have is an off-road sticker, which I just, actually, I talked to a fishing game warden the other night at a meeting I was at, and he
You know,
says-
you know the person you sit next to, right?
Yeah, he said that
Just get Jeff to take and tell him what you need, or.
some towns do and some don't, he says they, obviously, ain't gonna stop us on a trail, we don't have a off-road sticker, but he said, they do issue them to those. Cause you go up to DOT, motor vehicle, DMV, it's like, they don't have a clue about registering. I went there 3 times, they told me I couldn't get a regular license plate for it. Said, you need to go to Fish and Game. I go,
No, this one's legal for the road, you
Yeah.
gotta play
so,
on it.
after going about 4 or 5 people, finally, I
Mhm.
was able to get a regular government plate.
if you'd gone to Berlin, it wouldn't have been a problem.
Yeah.
They drive them on the road up there.
Yeah. So,
Well, I mean,
They
you
do.
don't need an off-road sticker for it,
Yeah.
because you're already registered for the
yeah,
road.
but,
Right.
But I mean,
some towns do it just to have both. Like I
Right,
said,
that's-
they said, he told me,
is it free? I mean, then slap a sticker on
Yeah.
if it's gonna cost us.
yeah, I don't think it's a cost, being a town.
Well, Fish and Game is strapped for cash, so they'll charge anybody, even their own
Right.
mothers.
Yeah, he didn't talk about money, he just said, either way, so some towns do, some don't. Cause we go around the meetings all the time, and I was in Henniker the other day, they got one, cause they run theirs on the road down to the college. They use it a lot for the, they run down, put out fire alarm systems in and out,
Yep.
they go check alarms over there.
Mhm.
Yeah, they run around town all the time up there, and, they got both on theirs.
I'm surprised you don't take and lease it out to the building department and use it around town.
Get some miles on it, you can get to that.
You'll be able to change your oil.
Yeah. But, yeah, so, things gonna work out well. Definitely. We'll see all the backland we have and, yeah. Stuff happens. Fortunately.
Okay. You got anything else to go to the order before we move on to the next item?
Good.
Thank you, chief, appreciate it. Alrighty, next we have the MS 434.
Yep. This is basically, second part of the MS 232R, which is what we proposed to the voters in March and reported in the town meeting. Basically, this time of the year, prior to setting the tax rate, we have the opportunity to revise those revenues. This would be the time that we would wanna do it. It's part of the requirement to have this submitted with changes, without changes, so that we can have a smoother tax rate setting.
So it's, I understand the larger font is what we have
That
received
type-
already,
Yep, I've typed that in,
and then the small font is what we estimated.
estimated, correct.
So everybody's on the same page.
I can just share what I've experienced in the past with the board. Some board members felt that they went with what was proposed for the estimate, and the excess that was collected and reported through the audit would basically increase our surplus. You can see the land use tax to date, we've collected 31,400, that is strictly the town side. We've had a really good year this year, we're in excess of 21,400. When this, for your information, when this project on Grapevine gets filed at the Registry of Deeds, they could technically go out and come in and get 22 permits,
Yes.
building permits, all of those are in current use. So there's a potential for at least 55 grand on the town side, 110, actually 120, if it's 10,000 each.
Some goes to conservation, half goes to us.
50%, right, so we're looking at potential another 60 grand, that would be something we don't have as of yet, but we're still, August, we still have a few months to go.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong though, if we do not change our estimate, leave it as is, and we come in over, we have a surplus.
That's correct,
Yeah,
that's
just-
correct, yep.
No, we usually use that towards offsetting the future
Tax rate,
taxes, so,
we would apply it to the budget process like we did before.
so it's either we do it now, when
Right.
it gets to the
For
assessment
this,
tax.
for this calendar year, or you do it when you're setting your budget, saying that the appropriations for your budget is $2 million, we're gonna use, 50,000, 100,000.
So with the, I mean, if we do it now, how's it gonna affect the tax rate for the upcoming tax bill, so it doesn't?
It doesn't, what you have to anticipate is the additional revenue from the building permits and the utility changes. But if you go to page 2, that request for overlay is a magic number that we have to
Yes.
estimate, and you can see that the abatements to date that we've refunded plus interest is 11,006. So, in the past, I've seen that number range from 2,000, 5,000 to 30,000, depending on we're in a legal debate with utilities. I would recommend that we list that at least at a minimum of 15. We're pretty much done with the residential abatements. I believe before these abatements were granted, we had about $1.5 million of new value on the residential side. We still have the outstanding utilities, we won't get that until just a week or two before we set the tax rate.
Right.
And the problem with that is we do have appeals outstanding.
we know where we are with the lawsuits?
San Souci typically, I think there's, the,
They're not even close to negotiating a settlement?
no, they're not, but,
Because I thought we did that with two of them, the other two were still
Yeah,
being both report, right?
right, what we have pending is Eversource. Last year, what is it, it's, New England Hydro
Yeah.
was in the process of settling, we haven't gotten a final number, and typically what San Souci does is that rather than, rather than, refund money, he reduces the assessment over a number of years, so it's not as big of an impact. That's how we handle the Dunbarton
Right.
telephone, so they're a flat
Yeah.
assessment with no
Follow
increases.
along on that?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, I know it's new to you, that's why
Right.
I wanna make sure
Yeah,
you get questions, but I mean, throw them out
Right,
there.
no, but I understand what you're saying, where they
Yeah.
spread it out,
Mhm.
yeah,
so it doesn't impact all at once.
right,
Mhm.
so
It's
it's,
kind of a false assessment just to take so we don't have to take any money out of our coffers.
Right.
But
Except
then-
you have to plan on it each
Yeah.
year.
correct,
Exactly.
and typically, all these utility companies will have, value increase because of the new transformers and the upgrades that they, and the poles or whatever.
Well, the fiber, I would think that would increase the, assessment, I mean,
But, I'm not sure which part that falls on, if it's
Yeah.
part of the utility of the telephone poles,
yeah, I know,
or-
they break it up, they get it
Yeah.
screwy.
yeah, so,
I think there was an RSA change coming, and then that fell through this last session.
Yep.
Following along on that. And of course, last year, it just happened to hit the same time we lost $10.5 million
Yeah.
valuation and all that, it just kind
Yeah,
of
we took a big hit.
snowballed right there and it beat us up badly, unfortunately, which is bad timing.
Yep.
Well, we don't know where we are on the lawsuit as far as anywhere near settlement or
No.
anything, so
no, not for the two utilities.
this is
Still
August.
pending. We have,
So we probably won't see anything till the end of the year at most.
we're still dealing with, 2013 and
I mean,
14.
as far as,
We'll get their value updates.
right, but I mean, as far as them actually settling and anything going on, it's probably gonna be months.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, Yep.
I think they go in court, right?
Yep.
So we'd probably be pretty safe with the overlay at 15 then.
I would agree. That's typically where the auditor suggests that we estimate higher than, and because I know that the known facts of what we have,
Well, I know we did 25 one year because we had those lawsuits that come in
and
the,
we were looking for legal support with that as well, so, yeah. And I think that overlay, the board is agreeable, that 15,000 would be a safe number to work with. Of course, that comes out of our, it affects the tax rate, because it's like another budget line that we have to budget for and raise from taxes, so. So we're up on land use tax, we're down a little bit on yield tax, interest and penalties, we're down a little bit. Motor vehicles, it's up, that is a group number,
right. Overall, do we have a grand total? I mean, I don't see a grand total.
it's on this report right here. This is the system report.
This here?
And the thing that you have to keep in mind that's not been included in this total is the last highway block grant and the flood control and the rooms and meals, so we're looking at about $200,000 for that uncollected group, if you look at page 2, second group. We are anticipating that 18,940 for highway. Flood control, we budgeted 69. We've only collected 3,096, that's the PILT, payment in lieu of taxes. So we're still, I'm hoping, I haven't heard, you might hear what the flood control monies are coming in before I do, but we usually budget conservatively. Last year we collected 68,000, we budgeted 69.
I thought I heard something last session that they were gonna take and pay that.
Oh yeah, they're supposed to pay it, but the money sometimes is, a fluid number, it doesn't always come out exactly where we're at, but we did get a little bit more, PILT money, last year we got 2,800, this year we got 3,096. Rooms and meals, we budgeted a little bit low, based on last year's revenue, just as a, safe number. The grant revenue you see there is,
No quotes.
milfoil, we still have an outstanding check of 1,027, it's in the works, it just hasn't posted. And then, FEMA other, that was, well, actually, the grant revenue was 3,000 from the transfer station, and then, FEMA other, I believe, is the, milfoil. So we're still looking at 200 on top of this 4. That's 601. We budgeted 997, 427. Income departments. Again, these are group numbers. Sheet, noted on mine.
We're pretty much right on target, I mean, you got 40% left to collect.
Yep.
And we're in August, so we're over 60% done of the month, of the year.
And that's without having, what we know we're going to collect 200 grand minimum with the, from the state.
So when we said 401 outstanding. Well, you gentlemen, tend to leave it as is, our estimates as is, instead
Yeah, I
of,
wouldn't make any adjustment.
you know, if we get some extra, then we'll put it towards the operating budget like we do.
It's actually, it's a number you can
Right.
adjust to
Mhm.
one way or the other.
Yeah.
If you come out a little under, you can adjust to, still adjust that
Mhm.
number.
Mhm.
And if you come out ahead, you're better off, so.
Yeah, cause I think right now we're carrying about just under 5%
Mhm.
by the Department of Revenue's recommendation. And we've used surplus from, in the last 2 years to keep the town's portion.
Last year, I thought we were like around 3%.
I thought we were
Yeah, I thought we drove it down
4.9.
kinda low,
Yeah,
actually.
we
four
did.
point nine, or was it 3.9?
I wanna say it was low,
Yeah,
low
it was.
4, it was
Yeah.
3.1, 3.2, I thought.
Yeah, I thought we drove it down kinda low in there.
Okay.
Yeah, because, you know,
Cause Ted was on the board, he was real
Yeah.
nervous about that.
no, he was the one pushing, you know, like, let's use it up, you know, we don't.
Yeah.
Make any money
We don't
on
have
it.
any debt on it, right?
Right,
Yeah.
And I was one saying like, no, we don't, rainy day fund, we don't wanna screw ourselves either.
right.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay. If I can get a motion from the board then,
I'll make
And
a
I-
motion that we take and leave our estimates on the MS 434 as written and submit it to the Department of Revenue Administration as is.
and also the overlay request.
Oh, I'm sorry, well, that, to include the overlay of $15,000. Sorry about that, I forgot we didn't put that in there before.
Mm,
I'll second that.
Any discussion, gentlemen? All good, all those in favor? Aye.
I am authorized as the preparer to sign for this, so I'll fill it out and submit it.
Yep.
Done.
232,
No, that's actually just for
is it
information.
just FYI? Okay.
Yep, yep, based on
I'll
where we
look at
get.
that later then, cause let's get this going here.
Alright.
Alright, Boston Post Kane discussion, we have a letter in here. I've already talked to the, radios. I didn't wanna, you know, the body's barely in the grave, I didn't wanna take him, go knocking on the door this week, but probably next week I'll stop by and pick it up. I already talked to them, they have it.
Okay.
It's not going anywhere, so. But I know you wanted this on the agenda, so
Yeah.
let you run with it.
Okay, I brought it up only because, Allison called me the other night, you know, about this thing, 'cause I think, with the,
Historical Society.
the other thing coming up, what do they call it?
Oh,
Old
Old
Home Day.
Home Day,
Home Day.
yeah.
Yeah, in a parade, Allison, I think, was trying to push this thing forward pretty fast. but-
No, it was the Old Home Day Committee's trying to push
Is that what
it.
it is?
Yeah.
Somebody is.
Yeah.
She was the one that called me, but,
Yeah.
She's on the committee, right?
is she knows.
She was in the past, she said she would be willing to do it again, but there's just not enough time between now and Old Home Day
Yeah, I don't
to
think there
come
was
up with a
either,
fair, I mean, the Historical Awareness Society sent out flyers, we posted on the website.
Yeah,
We got surveys from the kids, and then there was a criteria that they had to meet, which are a 10-year resident minimum, so that they could get some fair names and
Yeah.
ages to work with and vote on
yeah,
that.
so I think whatever it was they did last time, we need to kind of do it again,
Yeah,
you know, and so we need people who,
and I
wanna
think
do
we
it.
presented it at, town meeting,
Town meeting, I think is
so
when we
that
do it,
is really,
yeah, so I don't think it can be done in time for the, Old Home Day, but,
no,
I think that'd be pushing, I mean, it's
Yeah.
a month away.
right,
Yeah.
Take some research.
it does.
yeah, it's gonna take some work.
I'm wondering if that's
Are you a
something,
candidate?
no, well, I'm just wondering if that's something you can put in the hands of, I understand Historical Awareness Committee works with the school, but they have people
Yeah.
that are looking at all that history now and looking at what's going on.
Yeah,
So I don't know if that's way no, you can't expedite it for Old Home Day, but you may expedite it to find a legitimate person that deserves it.
yeah, I think with, the Historical Awareness is talking with the Historical Society to find
Okay.
out who has done it in the past. Wendy Daly, seemed to be in charge of it, and she's not part of either, but I think her involvement with, different groups in the town, giving her the tools and resources
We
to.
don't need to appoint a full-fledged committee for this, do we? Can we just put in the hands of the historical awareness folks and say, run with it?
I don't know that they're totally interested.
Oh,
I think that's where the Historical Society and I think we
I
could
think you
probably.
need interested parties, I
Yeah,
think that's the
absolutely.
problem,
Yeah,
yeah.
But I think there are people on Historical Awareness
Would be
that would be
interested.
concerned, yeah.
okay,
They have unfortunately, don't have a meeting this month,
right,
you know, that
It'd
which
be
makes
nice
it
if
tough.
both parties.
I can send an email out to them to find out,
I don't
ask
know,
them
I
to
just don't
discuss it at
combine
their
them
meeting.
together.
Reach out to the chair.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's blasphemy, they're both doing the same exact job, I mean,
Yeah, I know.
just work together, come on, people. This day and age, we got enough crap going on.
cause they work with the school, like you said,
Right, oh, you can have one committee that does both. Anyway,
Well, you know, we call them a Historical Awareness Committee and we limit them to the school. It's like the Boston Post came, that they didn't give to women till 1930.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here it even says the oldest male, so I don't know if this is,
Well,
that's the
that's
history,
wrong.
that's,
Yeah.
that's
I would
the
make a
history.
motion if that was the case, that way you take it open to both sexes,
Oh,
to be
yeah,
honest with you.
yeah.
I mean,
Actually,
oldest
it,
citizen, oldest
it
citizen.
goes to the oldest citizen, cause in
Right.
1930, they changed the way it was distributed.
Yeah,
And then it went to almost 700 different towns.
yeah, that was quite a few.
In
Yeah.
Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and is it Connecticut? It's not Vermont, cause they left it
No.
out, I think.
Yeah, and then Rhode Island does, they usually left it anyway. It probably was
yeah,
kinda.
1930 is when it, they opened it up to women.
See how far they're advanced?
Well, because they found that all the guys were dying off, and the women were left.
Yeah, true,
I think that's why they gave it to the men now,
Yeah,
is because most of them didn't last long enough. If they were married, they
Yeah.
went on to someone else, so you'd cover a few people in town.
okay, so we won't push it for the Old
Yeah.
Home Day, but we'll get
No,
a
but we
committee
should get a
together.
committee going though, yeah, or
and as soon as
something.
I get it back from the radio, so I'll take them, bring it here, you can store it
Yeah.
involved.
Yeah, that's where it's been in the past, yeah, okay,
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Cool.
sounds good.
Library roof, the roof. We've got a couple estimates of stuff here.
Actually, there's one estimate for work,
And
and
one
then
for steel.
I took liberty of contacting our regular provider for steel.
Cold steel, yeah.
They looked at the plans, after
Mhm.
a number of days. Then I sat down with Larry to look at the detail of it, and we noticed that there were some issues, so
Mhm.
this number should be kept in-house because used as a tool, because there are some things missing that will affect,
I saw this.
If we, you know, I know that this is an awful lot of money here to go do all this steel and have this work done,
yeah,
but are we doing that so that we can put slate back up on the roof?
Yes. No.
If we would've,
Well, yes and
He
no.
no, does
said-
it need to be done if we weren't putting slate up there?
This is what Jeff Chuxler said, that he would
either way.
recommend doing it for either material, metal or slate.
And he recommends we do it before we put the slate on there, because the roof has to take the weight.
See, and I take difference because you have a few, and you know, not to denigrate any of the engineers.
Mm.
The guy we gave it to was making sure the whole structure is adequate to carry a snow load that they use calculations to do.
Right,
Doesn't allow if it's wind blown or
yeah,
melted or
right.
it's the entire load.
Just load, yeah.
And so I started looking at the email I got, and I was a little concerned. Number one is, this is carrying the load all the way down to the footing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
It is an old building, and Jeff mentioned that there were things that had to be done with the roof to make it structurally sound. Whether it's, has to do with the rafters, or the joist, or where they connect, or in between, whatever it is. I don't have a problem getting a number to work on doing the construction to support the roof.
Yeah.
When you get down to over the doors, where they wanna put the steel plates and everything, my concern is that really not much has happened, and if you look at the line, and if you put as your husband said, you put a string up and measure it after, I don't think you're gonna find a big difference
Right.
in what happens. You know, when they built that, codes were different, I understand.
There were no
And-
codes.
Right, exactly, they didn't have to adhere to anything. And we have engineers that are designing this to meet today's code.
Mhm.
However, that wood has dried, you know, it was